It's true. I almost sold or gave back something. The 28 to 70, man, I thought about selling it, y'all. I'm about to tell you why. All right, so before we get into it, and y'all be like, man, you crazy, man, you tripping, dude. Let me just jump in and say, hey, thank y'all for subscribing, rocking with the page. The few people that I do have, I appreciate y'all, and I'm gonna continue making these videos. If you new, man, but if you are watching this, and you found this, please go ahead, hit like, subscribe, notifications, man. It all helps, man. I'm trying to get monetized. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, I'm trying to help people out more importantly. And just honestly, subscribing would help me stay in tune with what I'm doing, if I'm being real. Y'all hold me accountable to doing that. But anyway, let's get to why I'm making this video. Yep, I was on the verge of selling back the lens that I love so much. Now, if you remember, or if you're new to it, go back to my video about 8 months ago. I was talking to you about how dope the 28 to 70 was, and how much you need this lens and everything was. And I even recorded the video on the lens. Man, I was all gung-ho for this thing. Tell me why that focus breathing just wasn't good enough for me, man. It was just too much focus breathing. And I almost was like, dude, like, I love this camera, but I got to give it away. Now, here's why I was thinking about giving it away. Yes, the focus breathing, but in my workflow over the last year and since that video, I've been doing more videography jobs than photography jobs. And so for me, I was like, I need functionality. You know, your boy ain't got that much money. I done told y'all this on this channel, and if you don't know, I don't have that much money, okay? So I'm working with every dollar. I got to make things work for me. So when I spend this money, it's got to work. And and not that it wasn't working, because the 28 to 70, I stand by it, is probably the dopest lens that I own. However, you know, it's hard when it don't have the stabilization and the focus mode for video. It was kind of tough, man. I ain't gonna hold you, man. It was like, God, I love it, but you know, because let me break it down to you. I have the 15 to 35 EF. I have a Prime 50, the 1.8. It's not the L series, but it's a good one. You know what I'm saying? Then I have the 28 to 70 that I'm shooting on right here, and I have a 70 to 200. Now, all of those, with the exception of this lens right here that you are watching, is stabilized and made for video. And if you are a videographer, you know stabilization is everything. And the problem is that focus breathing. It just is, it's a bit much, if I'm being real. It's a bit much, and not too much you could do about it until your boy found a solution, okay? I found a solution, okay, to my gap of 28 to 70. You know, I found a fix. Here's how I found it, because I was like, this thing costs $3,000. It's got to work. So I got to figure out how to make it stabilize, make it do what I got to do for even the shortest video. Because like sometimes, you know, the 15 to 35, the 50, the 70, 200, I got two cameras, man, and I need that middle ground right there. So here's what I did. I played around with it since, you know, 8 months ago, whatever time that was. I messed around with it, tried to get the focus down, and tried different, you know, turn off the eye detection or something like this, or slow down. I played with a bunch of different settings in the thing where I said slow down, like the focusing and stuff like that. So I did everything I could until I stumbled across servo mode. And if you don't know what servo mode is, let me break it down to you. If you do know, you can move forward, whatever you need to do. Servo mode, especially for photographers, it allows you to, the camera, to focus fast, right? And kind of move and transition between different things, which is a good thing for photography. Videography, not so much. You want to focus on one subject, and you don't want hands and different things or anything in the background to kind of trigger that focus or pull that focus from what you really want. And so that's what servo mode does. It is a really dope thing for, you know, different applications that you might need that feature in. And so I just saw down in the corner, what if I turn that off for video, right? I just thought, because I'm only focusing on one person, so to say, right? So I did that. I turned it off, and lo and behold, I got some results. Not the best, albeit, but I did get some pretty good results from it. I was actually happy, but it wasn't enough, and I wanted to try to figure out how to make it even more detailed. And what I realized, and this is pretty cool, y'all, when you turn that servo mode off, I don't know if this is a feature I'm just finding out or people that's more, versed than me, y'all already know this. So pardon my, you know, ignorance when it comes to this kind of stuff. Again, I'm new. I'm just trying to help out people that's like me. But if you're more technical, I found that the focus still works when servo mode is off. Now, you probably like, duh, right? The servo mode don't have nothing to do with the focus. I didn't know that. Your boy didn't know that. I really didn't. I was kind of shocked. And I'm actually using my Atomos Ninja V to record right now, and I'm looking at myself, and it's still working, right? It has the gray box around what normally is a full white outline on your face. And you can see as I move around, it's still pulling that focus on my eye, which is really dope. And I have the spot focus box thing around my head, right around my area. And I'm not really moving from this area. I'm kind of moving left and right. And it's got a pretty nice range. One of the benefits of the R6 Mark II, Canon's focus ability, yada, 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 right? But it still works. It's not white, but it still works, and it's still tracking my eye, which is really cool. I found that fixed the problem. However, it comes with some caveats, okay? It comes with some caveats that you should know about this, okay? Thing one, when you turn servo mode off, every time you stop the camera, you got to turn, so servo mode turns back on. And you're probably like, okay, well, cool, but the problem with that is you got to remember to turn it off, okay, when you want this to work again. If you have this lens, if you're thinking about getting this lens, you got to turn it back off. And that can be kind of a nuisance. And the reason why it's a nuisance, if you are a photographer, videographer, we got a million things we got to remember before we press record, press snap, or close the shutter. We got so many things to remember doing our job. I don't want to add one more thing to your plate, but if you've been doing this, your plate is already full. You can handle another thing. So that's, to me, like a one knock on this. Also, the other knock is if you are a photographer and you are using that, you don't want to permanently turn it off, because I think you could permanently turn that off. You don't want to have to remember to turn that back on. That's the one big caveat. Now, the other caveat is I told you that you see the focus on my face here, right? With the box around my head. The problem is if I move out of that focus, out of that range, I'm blurred again. And if you are doing solo shots like me, it kind of sucks, right? You know what I mean? Like, because you got to get up, you got to change the focus back. And kind of like the trick to it is you got to press it out of focus. I'll demonstrate it here. So like if I'm right here, you can see me, but if I go over here, I think it's still kind of, I don't know, I can't tell, but check this out. I'm gonna get up, right? And it kind of pull focus, on my shirt here, right? So now it's focused. But if I sit back down, I'm not focused here. At least I don't think so. I can't tell from here. But what you do is I kind of step out of the shot I'm in and I let it focus one more time. You saw that. And now I sit down and boom, I'm back in focus. So work. But that work with an asterisk is just when you're doing this kind of solo thing. When I was out on my jobs, I'm behind the camera. I can do that and not have to worry about it. And it worked out perfectly fine. I did risk a job by trying this method. It turned out fine. It works. So I know that this is a good idea. It's just something that I don't know. You might want to check, right? Now, the last thing that might be a negative is kind of goes along with the focus part. You really can't touch and move the screen, and when you do, you gotta like kind of tap and get your focus back. And if you tap the screen, you shake the camera. And if you are doing a professional application where you're shooting an interview or you're grabbing content for somebody, you don't want to be doing that. So there are some drawbacks to it, and I don't know if I justified myself keeping this just to save some money, because what I was gonna do is I was gonna trade it back. I was gonna get like 2,200 bucks for it, and uh, from my local camera dealer here, so I was gonna do that, but I don't know. I don't know. I think I made the right decision for me. So just keep that with a grain of salt for your own needs. I just want to update you on the fact that I figured out how to do it. I don't know if it's the best, but I figured it out. So uh, that's that. That's that. Sidebar: Canon did come out with a 24-105 f2.8 stabilized lens just recently. It's $3,000. Comes out, I think, February or early next year, something like that. If I got enough money, you know your boy gonna get it. But the way things have been going, I'm probably gonna be at least 5 to 6 months behind. So stay tuned for that in next June or July, maybe. Some good vibes for you here. Actually, the next video, y'all, I've got some news for you. You are gonna love this next video because your boy is got some big news. I can't spill the beans right now because I signed an NDA. Euro step out of that dodge. So I'm not getting in trouble, but tune in for the next one, which might come the next day that the news breaks. But some good vibes for you is if nobody told you, I'm gonna be the first one to tell you I love you, I appreciate you. Hope your 2023 and beyond goes well. And ain't nothing you can do about that. So I appreciate y'all. Until next time, peace, love, and chicken grease.